Imagine you are at a hospital. You're on site working as an organ and tissue donation professional, and you're working on a case for a potential organ donor. You're standing outside the waiting room, and on the other side of that door is the patient's family. You need to talk to them, and maybe you're feeling nervous, maybe there's some difficulty or challenge you're anticipating, or maybe you're feeling exhausted, but you know you need to go in the conversation focused and ready to engage and support the family, but you're not quite there yet. How can you prepare? Well, now you can reach into your pocket, grab your phone, and open up DonorPedia. DonorPedia is a mobile app that serves as a real-time resource for organ and tissue donation professionals. The app is powered by Gift of Life Institute and designed by experts with decades of experience as donation professionals. Now, the best way to understand how DonorPedia works is to look at the categories. So we'll go to the Categories tab, and what you'll see is that we have a category that applies to each of the different stages of the organ and tissue donation process. In this scenario, we're going to be talking to a family. So let's go to the Leading Family Donation Conversations category. Now, within each category are several quick reference guides, or QRGs. Each QRG is a real-time resource to help you with specific challenges you face on the job. We have over 50 of these QRGs throughout the DonorPedia app. So before you talk to the family, perhaps you want to refresh on a topic like first-person authorization. You open that up, and what you'll find in here are several features like key terms, definitions for key concepts like donor designations, modes of first-person authorization. We have communication best practices, both with healthcare team members and with family members. In these best practices, we have top things you need to remember. So when you're looking at a QRG, you take a quick glance and you know immediately what you need to do, what you need to focus on. So when talking to a family about first-person authorization, you need to remember, 1, inform them, don't request. 2, advocate for the patient. And 3, use definitive language. And we pair these best practices with really clear, memorable visuals. They stand out and they are expressing concepts like using the word decision as definitive language and not more ambiguous terms like wish or choice. All throughout the app, we have a lot of sample language. These are, word for word scripts that before you go into a conversation, you can rehearse, you can practice, make them your own, and you'll know exactly what phrasing, what sequence you want to speak with when you go into that conversation. So if you look over something like that, you're going to be focused and ready to step through those doors and talk to the family. But in DonorPedia, it's not just limited to communication skills in these QRGs. We also have more clinical skills. So for example, under donor management, we have guides like ABG interpretation. So what you see in this guide is a chart of normal ABG values, which we hear from people in the field is really useful because this chart is really hard to memorize, but very important. Even if you have a lot of practice with it, you always want to be checking to make sure you have all the parameters correct. And the guide doesn't just stop there. It guides you on how to interpret the values that you see. So it will give you steps for determining if it's respiratory or metabolic, if it's acidosis or alkalosis. And when you scroll down to that section, you'll see what the causes are for that condition and how you need to treat it. So it's a great example of how DonorPedia is a real-time resource. It helps you figure out what's going on and what you need to do next. So let's look at some more of these QRGs. We have several different kinds for several different scenarios and tasks. Under brain death, for example, we have a ton of guides. Let's start with preparation for BD testing. Here we have some really great, memorable visuals of what you need to be looking for brain death testing. Here we have 7 signs and symptoms of progressing brain injury. We have the Cushing's triad. We have typical prerequisites for brain death testing. And what we're seeing here are these really clear visuals. Immediately when you look at them, you know what you need to be keeping in mind. We have these icons that capture the concepts visually. We title them, and We even pair them with the important parameters too. So it's all right there, all in one glance. Other useful visuals in brain death, we have for confirmatory studies, 3 different kinds of tests to confirm brain death. They even come with these medical imaging examples that are labeled with the different aspects you need to be considering. So we have these CBF images, we have examples of angiograms where blood flow is present and where it's absent. So these are something you can really just quickly pull up and know what you need to look for. A really important category is donation after circulatory death. This is a field that is changing a lot. This is something where a lot of new techniques are developing, including NRP, you'll hear a lot about. So we want to make sure that DonorPedia has all these up-to-date guides like NRP. So looking at this one, we have these really useful diagrams explaining DCD recovery, what's involved with cold perfusion, what's involved with the cold storage. And then we have these anatomical diagrams of different types of recovery techniques. So this is TANRP. In this diagram, you know what kinds of different devices are involved. We have them labeled here. And then we have this anatomical diagram to show you specifically what's happening during the procedure. Below that is another anatomical diagram, so you can notice the difference between the different techniques. So this is not TA-NRP, this is just abdominal NRP, and you'll see the nuances, the different aspects of that technique. And this is not only useful for you as a donation professional, but we hear that this is shown to physicians and nurses by their donation colleagues, and it helps them all get on the same page, feel more comfortable about these newer techniques, and make sure that you're all working well together as collaborators. Now, some more QRGs we can look at include we have decision trees. So we have these like really creative ways of making sure you understand what steps you need to take, different pathways to donation. We have more about communication, including, some of the more, challenging aspects of family communication, like when the family is saying no. We have these QRGs that go over, 6 different scenarios that you'd be dealing with. If they're declining to the healthcare team, this goes over, what you'll hear, how to respond. We embed sample language in there. And so when you're having a specific situation, you pull up DonorPedia, what's going on and what you need to say. Managing family emotions, really useful. If you're anticipating an angry response, what you'll see in this kind of guide are the do's and don'ts you want to keep in mind. And we lay it out really clearly with these red X's and these check marks that you want to make sure you're not becoming defensive, you're not taking it personally, but instead you are keeping your voice steady and measured, and you're tapping back into your training with strategies like the last model. There's sample language you can look at as well. And speaking of sample language, some of our QRGs have a lot of it in there, so you have lots of options. So for offering tissue donation, for example, we have ways to introduce donation. We have ways to emphasize its impact with specifics. Responses to common questions. So you anticipate what people are going to bring up and how you should respond to that. And this is really cool. We have inspiring stories that you know about from recipients that you can share with the family by tissue type. So you can scroll down to the image of any of these tissue types and immediately have a story ready to go to share with the family to inspire and support them. Now, if any of these QRGs are particularly useful to you, you can actually favorite them with the red hearts. So there's a red heart right there. And that's really useful because we have the favorites tab here at the bottom, and that creates a short list of your most frequently used QRGs, and it ensures that they're just a couple taps away when you need them. There's also a recents tab, so you can see all your most recently viewed QRGs in the order that you viewed them. Another great feature under the categories tab is this search bar. So you can search for categories that way. You can also in the top right hit topic list and look at the topic view, and you can search that way as well. So if you want to look for something related to ABG, you type that in and those guides are right there, ready to be opened. Now, in DonorPedia, we have over 50 quick reference guides, and we are continually updating the app with new QRGs as well. So all of that is included in your subscription. As soon as we publish a QRG, it is available at your fingertips. And we're currently developing dozens more QRGs on a variety of topics. There's also opportunities to have customized QRGs in DonorPedia. So these would be customized to unique policies, unique to your OPO. Things like, what are the individual state laws for brain death testing? What are guides you want for your traveling coordinators? An example of this that we developed for Gift of Life donor program in Philadelphia is about first person authorization across different state laws. So just as an example, what we'll show you here is that we have listed out the state laws for Delaware, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. And this is really useful because if you are used to working in one state, but you find yourself working on a case in another state, you can easily open up DonorPedia, check on what the differences of those state laws are, and feel, confident and ready to follow those correctly. So if you're interested in getting the DonorPedia app for your team, contact us. Go to our website, giftoflifeinstitute.org/DonorPedia-app, and fill out our interest form. Or email us at info@giftoflifeinstitute.org.